Good afternoon, fellow classmates, and hi, Dr. Ruffin. My name is Christy Perry, and I'll be doing my speech over what the book of Daniel represents to the Jewish people. Growing up, I was a Christian. We had the King James Version and studied the Old and New Testament. I view Daniel as a great prophet and a hero. I like to read his stories. It almost read like a action movie. It's very interesting. Considering Daniel was a Jewish man, I did not think about how the Jews viewed the book of Daniel. So in the speech, we're going to talk about that. Some history behind the book of Daniel. Daniel was living in Babylon during the exile of the Jews. He was under the king Nebuchadnezzar, and he was able to interpret the dreams of the king. This gave him very great importance to the king. So the king moved him up. He became the administrator of the provincial government throughout the kingdom. Even though he was given this role, he stayed faithful to God. He studied the monotheism, which is the view that there's only one God, the true God. Polytheism, which is the study and the belief that there's multiple gods, was big in this time, and he did not succumb to this pressure. He stayed faithful to God. He was put through many trials and tribulations. A lot of people know about the lion's den and the fiery furnace of his friends being thrown in, but even though he was put through these, he came out because he stayed faithful to God. He was also able to predict final judgments in his visions. This is the first time in the Old Testament that anyone has did this. And so the dates in Daniel, they were given great significance. A lot of people view them differently. They have been an argument over time. Okay, that's some history of the book of Daniel. We're going to look at the Hebrew Bible. The Hebrew Bible is put into three sections: the latter prophets, the former prophets, and the writings. The latter prophets is more of the political activists. The former prophets is history and how this history relates to Israel and today. And then the writings, they were more poetries, literature, short stories, and histories. The book of Daniel is listed in the writings portion of the Hebrew Bible because they said it was a better fit. One is that it was a reference for today, and so they thought it fit better in the writings portion of the Bible. Also, Daniel is not listed as a prophet in the scripture, so they do not consider him a prophet. And his visions were not named prophecy, so that's another reason they did not consider him a prophet. Even though the Jews did not put him in the prophet portion of the Bible, they still had great significance for the book of Daniel. One is the saving of Judaism. Judaism is the monotheistic religion of the Jews. It believes that the Jews were the chosen people, and they were put here for an example of holiness to the people. How they believe that Daniel saved Judaism is through the destruction of the first temple. In the first temple, they studied Judaism, and when it was destroyed, Daniel had a creed put out that the Judaism could be studied outside of the temple. So even though the Jews got displaced, they were able to study that outside the temple, and therefore Judaism survived. It survived even to today. So that's great significance to the Jews that their religion was saved. Another significant meaning to the book of Daniel is that Daniel told of the future in his visions of the Jews. He told of this second homecoming of the Jews when the second temple was created, and when in the final days in judgment. And so this gives them a hope, a promise that they will one day return to their homeland. Also, if we think about it, the book of Daniel gives a story to tell all the children and the people at the time, if we stay faithful to God, that he will reward us, and they are the chosen people, so they will rightfully claim their land. So in conclusion, I believe the book of Daniel to the Jews is of great significance. Not only did it save their religion, it gives them a true hope of the end days. And if we can have that promise, then why not see that in Scripture? If we can look back on Scripture and see that there's a promise for my people, then that's great significance. So I learned a lot with this speech, and I hope that you learned a lot, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.